3. Ooh. Second earthquake coming. Team Rebecca, on the count of 3, can I get a praise God? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get the claps going from over there. Let's move the claps all the way across, all the way across, all the way across. And let's make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome to the stage none other than Mr. Katlego Mapai.
Donovan, thank you. That was lovely. Cool. Good people. I'm so happy to have all of you here and to be here together. And a big shout out to everyone who's managed to dial in online. It's a really special day for us. Today marks an important milestone for us. And it's another step in this exciting journey that we've been doing as an organization, as we're really making the way forward for the small business landscape. A decade ago, we saw a glaring gap in the financial market. Small businesses were being underappreciated and undersupported. And that was around about the time the light bulb for the Yoko idea came into play. We had a very simple vision. We just wanted to open up the doors to commerce and democratize payments for all. And when I think to where we are today, it's incredible. If you want to get a card machine, you can. Gone are the days where you're jumping through hoops and trying to negotiate with your bank and all this type of stuff. If you want it, you can have it. And I'm just so proud of how we've managed to catalyze this as an organization. And really, to see this vision come to life and really manifest and to be here today just gives us immense pride. And I find it inspiring, and I hope you find it inspiring too. The great inventor, Buckminster Fuller, once said, "You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." These wise words have been our quiet North Star in our journey as we've consistently strived to build the best payment experience for our customers. Our objective is to always be one step ahead in a context where the pace of change is accelerating. We don't just want to predict the future, yeah? We want to shape it, and we want to make it better for small business. Today, we take another big step towards that goal. But before we proceed, and before I bring my co-founders up on the stage, I want to just take a moment to acknowledge something. Yoko is here to propel your everyday progress. But in the end, you are the real engines behind this transformation. We are so proud to be the constant in your journey, providing a beacon of stability and, safety during these just dynamic and unpredictable and, let's be honest, quite difficult times. As we stand on the brink of unveiling this next generation of payments, let's pause to acknowledge and celebrate your progress. No matter how challenging the journey has been, progress is always marked by the small wins. And it's important to do this because all the small wins add up to something meaningful. So my message to you is this. Let's embrace this, let's savor the journey, and let's enjoy this time together today. And that's it from me. I'm looking forward to it, and let's have a fun time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to hear from some of the other founders here, so you need to show them some love. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise and welcome to the stage, Lungisa, Carl, and Brad. You know, just want to say one thing here, just before I leave the stage. I will say this, ladies and gentlemen. See, money will make you look beautiful. Lungisa, we saw that picture of you there, my brother, in the early days. Now look at him, a glow out of nowhere. The skin is skinning here today. You guys are looking handsome for absolutely no reason. Ladies and gents, as much as I would love to be facilitating the panel discussion with these four incredible people on stage, I have to leave it to the professionals. I have to leave it to the people who are 10 times better than me at this. So I'm going to call up to the stage right now somebody who was destined to do what she does, right? Would you say a journalist who operates in the financial world? You talk a lot about finance, correct? Right? Talks about finance so much that she's got the word fee in her name twice. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise and welcome to the stage Fifi, who will be leading this panel discussion.
Sure. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
More like it, thank you. I hope everyone is okay. Everyone is well. Unfortunately, I don't have the job of making sure that the energy levels in the room are kept up. I'm not as cool as Donovan. I do have the job, however, of making sure that you guys are all concentrated. So as a news anchor, as Donovan did say, at CNBC Africa as well as MoneyWeb, my job is to discuss business and finance and all the important stuff around that. And since you all missed the 6 o'clock bulletin this evening, right, the most important one because you were here, we're going to give it to you right now. And we're talking about the new information that you'll be hearing from the founders, the fellow founders here at Yoko right now. I must declare, I speak to a lot of business people from all over the continent. And so when I say that I believe that this particular startup, although when Tish said that you guys still call yourselves a startup, I'm like, you're 10 years in the game, how are you still a startup?
Still a startup.
That's okay. I do regard you gentlemen as among one of the greatest startups in Africa right now. So it is, yeah. Honestly, I will break a different kind of news later on a different platform, but it is an absolute pleasure to be with you this evening.
Thank you, Fifi.
And so to give the people what they need to know, and that is new information as it does pertain to Yoko. I'm going to start off with Carl. And I'm going to ask you about progress and what that has looked like in the past 12 months. 12 months that have been pretty tough for most people. I think most people in this room will be able to share in those sentiments in terms of what has happened. The economy has continued to go nowhere fast. The Russia-Ukraine war, unfortunately, has still been doing its thing, and we, all over the world, have felt the repercussions of that, from higher costs of everything, from food to fuel to transport, that has made doing business difficult. This week, we heard from the national statistics that this economy is bleeding even more jobs. In fact, if you take a step back to see what has happened in the past year, 97,000 jobs lost. Nothing new, but a very sad story. And I was talking to Donovan before coming up here today about consumer confidence and how a report done by an institution that shall not be named showed that consumer confidence in terms of its data right now is at levels that we have last seen since 1994. And that matters because it matters for business, Yoko's business, and the business of all merchants here in this room. So against this backdrop, Carl, what has progress looked like at Yoko in the past 12 months, and how difficult or not has it been to achieve?
Well, thanks for the question. On that cheerful note, no, I'll try to share the good and the bad. But I think the reality is that this year in particular marked a pivotal moment in our decade-long journey. It's been akin to transitioning from adolescence to adulthood, to be honest. And I'll explain why. It's been very formative, but also very uncomfortable. So a few themes maybe to touch on. The first is we embraced discomfort as a catalyst for growth and progress. The progress that we made didn't always feel glamorous. We said no to a lot of great opportunities. We slowed down when the expectation was that we had to move faster. We started off afresh when we realized that there was a better way. And these were tough calls to make. Yet it's through these challenging choices that progress is truly forged. So I want to first say thanks to the Yoko team for navigating this period with us with a lot of grace. Thank you. The second thing I want to touch on is we acknowledged the uncelebrated behind-the-scenes work that happens in financial services companies, where the bets that you make take a really long time to bear fruit and are often in the background, because ultimately we are in the business of delivering trust and quality to our customers, and most of that is actually invisible. So we're doing that for 350,000 merchants today, and it's at this scale it's a very slow burn progress, but it's the kind that goes unnoticed, but also the kind that ultimately leads to generational companies being built. And I'm sure a lot of our merchants, small businesses, are feeling the same kind of long-term progress happening that often doesn't get celebrated. The third theme is on the 10-year milestone. So sitting here with my co-founders, it's been 10 years. We're still together. We're still super excited about this milestone. And I think, as Kat mentioned, we've been able to catalyze open commerce for small businesses in South Africa, and it's been the privilege of our lives. Thanks to all of you for keeping us here. 10 years is a lifetime in startup years. We had to ask ourselves whether this was the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning.
Sure.
And I'm glad to say that we unanimously, wholeheartedly committed to the next decade and decades of Yoko. And this means shifting towards adopting very long-term perspective when it comes to the decisions that we make. Because this business has evolved from being just a venture to becoming our life's work. And what's important at this point becomes focus, discipline, and a deep customer and quality orientation. And really cutting out the noise. All the noise that you mentioned. A lot of it is real, but
Sure.
a lot of it is also quite noisy and can get in the way of doing some great work. But despite the challenges, I think it's been an excellent year. Our business has grown, over 90% in 2022. And our merchants, and I'm really excited about this, our merchants have actually seen a substantial increase in their transactions between the periods of first half of 2022 and first half of 2023. Their transactions, so the merchants who transacted in both periods on a monthly basis, have grown 16% between first half 2022 to her first half of 2023, which is significantly outpacing inflation, which is between the 6 to 8% range.
Sure.
And I think it's a testament to the resilient merchants that we work with, who are thriving in a very tough economic landscape.
Sure. So, notwithstanding the fact that things are tough, as you said, you have chosen as a company to look at the glass as half full as opposed to half empty. And I like the comment that you have made about embracing the discomfort and using it to grow. So essentially, as the saying goes, when the going gets tough, right? The tough get going, which is what you have done. So Carl said that you, as fellow friends who started this vision over 10 years ago, have committed to being married in this business for decades. He said decades, so that's a very, very long time. But talk to us about the next couple of months, Lungi, in terms of what can be expected.
Great. Thank you very much for the question, Fifi. I think, when we look at the next couple of months, it would be amiss to look at it without looking a little bit back at the 10 years that leads up to it.
Sure.
Because I think the theme carries through from there. And when we really look at it, one of the most important things to realize is what role Yoko is paid by providing payments to small businesses. And at the end of the day, the role we really play is that we're facilitating an exchange of value between our customer and their customer. And that's really fundamentally what we're trying to do. But the reality is that that exchange of value is not complete until a business owner has access to that money and can do something with it. That could be buying stock, it can be paying staff, etc. And up to now, we've played a really passive role when it comes to that next step of the money. And now as we start to look forward, this is a really important thing that's going to start to change. And the first real area you can see this changing is in our instant payouts product. Our instant payout product really allows a small business owner, after accepting a payment, you could literally do it a couple of minutes after, immediately after, to go into the Yoko app and say, cool, I want that money now. And that money appears in their bank account. And this is really a shift where we are now saying, let's play an active role in money. And in reality, this is the beginning of a story for us as a business. It's really us going, we can do more with this. And together with our capital offering, these products are really designed to improve the cash flow of small businesses. And it actually arrives at a really key time when actually cash flow is king for small businesses right now. So really, this is a journey that we're on in financial services to help small businesses thrive. Alongside this, in 2019, when we launched the Neo, which was our first standalone card machine, we really went through a transition where you could now accept payments with Yoko without using the app alongside the card machine. We've since then launched the Kumo and the Kumo Print. And our standalone card machines are now our most used card machines in the market. Yet today, our app is still used by the majority of our customers. And the reason for this is that the app plays a key role when it comes to access to money through instant payouts and capital, when it comes to understanding their money, when it comes to having a view of your sales, being able to action things like refunds, and ultimately being able to manage your business, adding staff members, setting things up. With this in mind, we are evolving our app so that it focuses more on money, insights, and business management. Essentially, Yoko will become the hub for small business owners to not only sell, but to truly engage with the money and the financial world within their businesses. On top of that, our devices now offer Visa, MasterCard, and Amex, and this trend is actually going to continue. We are very excited to continue the trend of allowing our devices to accept more payments types. So that's really exciting. And lastly, but ultimately for me, one of the most important things is that for years, when launching new products, we have worked with our customers. But this has been something that we've done on a selective basis, choosing customers that we have identified as being really good for that solution, but ultimately not opening it up to everyone. And what we are keen to do now is that in Q4, we're going to be launching our product community, which allows every merchant within the Yoko base to say for themselves, I want to be part of your new product launches. I want you to engage with me when you're launching new products. I want to be part of building the future of not just payments, but of commerce and money. And this is something that's really, really exciting because for the product space, it means that we can engage with a wider base of our customers. So that's really what the next while looks like for us, but it's underpinned by where we come from and really the role we want to play in money, commerce, and management of business.
Sure. So in terms of my, when I first saw you as Yoko, a guy who sold sandwiches in the office. And he used to carry these sandwiches on a crate, a blue crate. And I remember I said, I don't have cash today. And he said, no, but I've got this machine. I said, what's this machine? Fast forward today, one of the guys who washes the car in the office that's how we pay. So these are one of your merchants, one of your 350,000, I think you said it was, several hundred thousand. Also one of the several hundred thousand that get paid every month as a result. So Brad, I'm coming to you right now in terms of the innovation, because prior to this, we were talking about innovation and how literally, I don't know which rapper it was, just given the fact that Donovan has given us a rap theme, but about the line went, when I move, you move, just like that. Feel free, anyone, if you know. Yeah, there you go, stand up, there you go. And so that's what's happened in your industry. You've innovated, others have followed. And now you're here to talk about innovation again, and we'll have to see what others try to do as well. But in this innovation, Brett, I'd like to talk to you about how you're doing so responsibly, because now we love the digital, most things that have made our lives a lot easier, but it's also opened up a new corridor for different form of criminality. And so talk to us about how Yoco Next is doing its thing, but doing its thing in a way that merchants can know that their guap, trying to be cool. Stay safe.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Yeah, I think the main point here is we really believe in what we call responsible innovation. So pushing the boundaries to make doing business easier, but also safer. And yeah, I guess not seeing innovation as at an opposite to safety and security, but actually something that we need to innovate in. To maintain that. So our merchants and customers rely on us every day to manage their money, and this motivates us to set new standards for quality and experience. So we really want to hold ourselves to a higher and higher standard as we grow as a business. Behind the scenes, everything needs to be constantly redesigned, rebuilt, and improved. So that's what you would see behind the scenes at Yoko, is this constant focus on improvement. And over the last 10 years, we've seen this happen over and over again, and we got here by constantly improving. So there are three things that businesses typically need in order to do well. So one is you need people, you need process, and you need technology. And people and technology is kind of the ingredients, and process is kind of like the recipe. And since we are a knowledge business, our people are really the most important ingredient to what's made Yoko what it is today. So we're curious people. We're constantly looking to grow, learn, and improve. And it's this that drives forward the business every day. We're also a financial technology company. So we're building products that you can rely on. And I think this is where safety and security really comes at the core. So this is what keeps Yoko the best place for you to do business, to manage your money. And our commitment to you is that we're setting new standards, and we're always improving.
Okay. No, good to know. Good to know. So let's finish off this discussion then with where we started. Ultimately, it is all about the economy. And there's been a lot of light in this economy lately. The new Minister of Electricity can get a bonus. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is pretty dark out there. If we refer to the darkness as the noise that Carl has conveniently stated that we are looking past. But for merchants right now, who perhaps also just want an understanding of how you are thinking about the darkness and looking through the darkness as business owners, and any perhaps advice and lessons to share, what would you say?
Yeah, I think just to re-emphasize, it's been a really difficult time. Mm-hmm. And not just now, right? COVID, pre-COVID, people really had to think on their feet and, keep going. And we continue to be very inspired by our customers and their ability to adapt. I think in terms of advice, just cutting out a little bit, but in terms of advice, I think there's two dimensions about how you want to think about this. The one is survival, and the other is growth. And let me talk a little bit about survival, because you need to survive first before you can think about growth.
Sure.
There's two things here. So one is cash flow. We all know this is the lifeblood of a business. and you have to be on top of it. And what do I mean by this? Well, in these sort of economic circumstances where maybe sales are a bit lower and the cost of operating become a bit higher and cash flow is starting to get squeezed, you really need to take stock and get comfort that you have enough cash flow and runway to see you through. And that may mean taking some difficult decisions. But in the end, we are talking about survival here. And some of the mistakes that I've seen is sort of hoping for the best and not planning for the worst. And the challenge there is you get to a point where you can't do anything, and the only choice you have is to kind of come to an end. And that's the last thing you want. So we have a mantra at the business that you plan for the worst and you hope for the best. And then if you have a bit of upside, fantastic. The next topic is energy. This is also an existential thing in the context of a business. I think, when this all started, the only thing that you had was basically a generator, and this was very much, restricted to larger businesses, or, it was just not sort of the most ideal product. What I think is incredible and a big testament to the private market is literally, like, over the last couple of months, the plethora of energy solutions that have come into the market, whether it's solar, inverters, it's incredible. And not only solutions, but providers, and so the private market is really stepping in. And then on top of that, there are now all these incredible financing solutions, right? So you don't have to do a massive capital outlay. But I think the main message here is just don't wait, sort out the energy, your business needs it, and really treat this as a survival topic and not a nice to have, or the sense that load shedding is going to get sorted out. Now let's get on to the good stuff. So growth. Number one is it has never been more important to intimately understand the needs of your customers. Your customers have less money in their pockets because of inflation. They're becoming a lot more cautious. They're really, really thinking about how they want to spend their money. And if you're misaligned with their mindset, where they're at, their needs, then essentially your value proposition is going to become irrelevant. And you need to just take a real deep, cold, hard look at this reality, assess, and then coming out of that go, hey, what can I do today or in the next couple of months that can meet the needs of my customers, and only focus on that. All the side stuff you were doing, or experiments or thoughts that don't fit into the needs of your customers, cut them loose immediately. There's just no room for that at the moment. Coming out of that is, are we communicating to our customers in the right way? And this is really around marketing. And I think if you have a good grip on who your customers are, what they need, you need to make sure that you're getting the message out. And there's a bunch of tools. Explore, figure it out, and get out there. And it's also just a good time to see if maybe it's time to introduce some new channels into the mix. So does it make sense to go online? Does it make sense to do some sort of a partnership? Just try and think a little bit laterally around this. But if you're clear on your customers, this becomes a very simple decision. You want to meet them where they're at. And then finally, and this is very important, is pricing. Under these economic conditions, the most knee-jerk, immediate thing that you'd want to do is discount, right? And often it works. You've created an incentive for customers to come or to even retain them. And it works in the short term, but unfortunately, what you're doing is that you're destroying value over the long term. And I'm not saying a big no to discounting. I'm just saying make it the last decision that you make after you've exhausted everything else. And what I would recommend is make sure that your pricing is in line with what your customers can afford. And this goes back to customer intimacy and understanding their needs and their situation. And then think of other ways in which you can make it easier to get your product or your service. So is it a case of introducing installments? Is it a case of doing a bit of credit? Just think a little bit outside the box before you jump straight through to discounting. So I hope that's helpful. These are some of the things we're doing. And I wish you all the best.
All right, perfect. I like that. So, however, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to take a short break. We also will be saying goodbye to Brad and Lungi. as well as Carl. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay tuned after the short break. Another brief announcement. Thank you.
Cheers, boys.
Excuse me. Excuse me. So you see, this is why I must not try to be a comedian, because when I said that it's time for us to take a short break, I was talking like figuratively, you know, because we're doing a news bulletin. So I see a lot of people standing up and askies. I'm not going to try to do Donovan's job anymore. But I just wanted to make sure that Katlego stayed on stage, because ultimately he has invited everyone in this room for something. I mean, there are places to be. Money to be made right now, so there certainly must be a reason why he said drop everything, and the team at Yoko said drop everything for you to come and join us here right now.
Thank you, Vivi.
So please take it away as the host of us this evening.
Thank
What
you.
is this evening really all about?
Okay, let's do it. So, what we're about to introduce isn't just the tool. It's a testament to our unwavering belief that technology should make the lives of everyone easier. It reflects our commitment to breaking barriers and setting the way forward. And I think it's important to say that the true measure of innovation isn't just creating something new. It's actually about creating something that makes a difference. And today, we're about to present to you a product that does precisely that. And what's even better is that it's all done with a Yoko human touch. We don't simply aspire to change the game, we also want to change the rules. Creating a reality where convenience, security, and ease of use are not just buzzwords, but like something real. And we stand here proud and excited to unveil this great product that embodies our core values of exploration, connection, mastery, simplicity. And yeah, let's step into the future. So, I'm proud to introduce to you, and let's say a big hello to the Neo Touch.
What is next? Next is simple. Introducing the new Neo Touch. No complexity and no drama. Just turn it on and get paid in under 3 seconds. Do 400 transactions on one charge with no phone pairing needed and no off days. You'll always stay connected even in the dark. It's square, it's small, and it's very sleek. Enjoy the fully responsive touchscreen, free unlimited data for life, Wi-Fi connectivity, and high-capacity battery for all-day power. The new Neo Touch. Progress is keeping payments simple.
Wow! I was saying to the guys earlier on, you know, like when you look at some of those benefits, I'm like, are you sure you're not losing money? Like it feels like you're giving everything away to us, but that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to call Lungi back up to the stage right now just to kind of sum this up for us. So, yes, there he is. Look how happy you are. Look how happy you are. Every year, just more and more handsome. The cheekbones, hey! Hey, they're going higher. They're going to be here at some point. Yeah, he's born with contouring, this one. Sir, speak to us about this brand new card machine before we officially close the panel. When you were kind of chatting about it earlier, I can feel the enthusiasm. I can feel the excitement, the energy in the way you speak about it. Tell us.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I actually have it with me here because it gives me so much joy that we've actually invested in something that's really going to be solving the problems of our customers. We do this all the time, but it never gets old. And I think the key word with the Neo Touch is simplicity. 2 years ago, when we launched the Kumo, our goal was to bring to market the smartest card machine for customers who needed more than payments, because we have a lot of customers who need something more than just payments. And we truly believe the Kumo and its sibling, the Kumo Print, are the real answers for doing more on a single device. However, for some businesses, all they need is payments. Simple payments, fast payments, but payments. The Neo Touch, a device that started with a drawing in Cape Town, in our Cape Town office, is really the answer to that. And with the launch of this device, we really believe that we now have small businesses covered when it comes to payments. From the Neo Touch that offers simplicity to the Kumo and Kumo Print that offer a continuously evolving software offering, all these devices together are backed by a growing ecosystem that we have designed to support small businesses. And really today, as we launch the Neo Touch, what we're really saying is you now have a complete set of devices to choose from. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lungisa, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to bring on the next set of speakers, the next panel discussion. Before I do that, just once again, a couple of housekeeping, or a little bit of housekeeping rather. Please remember, please tag us on social media, Yoko_ZA. That hashtag is hashtag Yoco Next. You can walk away here with 5,000 Rand, a brand new card machine. Is it that machine that they will walk away with? Where's Lungisa? Can they walk away with that machine tonight? Oh, that machine. Or Yoco Next merch. So please do share whatever you need to share on social media. Can I just have 2 minutes here very quickly? Because this is very inspiring. The first time I was part of this, I'm going to call it a movement, right? Was last year. And I was just so impressed, you know? And here's the thing about Yoko that I absolutely love. I'm terrible with money, right? I'm terrible with business. I like to consider myself semi-successful because I have a manager. But the reason I'm terrible with money and the reason I'm terrible with business is because I don't understand it, is because I was never taught about it, is because I'm afraid of it. It's daunting. I don't know this language. You know, like by the time I turned 30, for example, you're expected to know what all these terms mean because you're just expected to. But by the time you turn 30, you're too afraid to ask anybody because of the backlash and what they're going to think about you. Hey man, you know, how are you a full-grown adult with children and you don't understand what this thing is? My favorite thing about Yoko, technology aside, amazing innovation aside, is the communication. You have found a way to make me trust. You have found a way to make me go, hey man, can I have that conversation with you because I feel like you guys get where I'm coming from and you are not going to judge me, right? It's accessible. It doesn't feel corporate. It feels fun, right? Because money and business shouldn't be a scary thing ever. You should never be in a position where you're like, oh, you know, I can't do it because you're thinking of everything that could go wrong. You're thinking that if you make this decision with a bank online or whatever it is, all your money is suddenly going to disappear. Now you're tied into something that you have no idea about, right? I love the transparency. I love that you tell us only what we need to know. But the most important thing for me is I just feel like I want to start a business because of you, because that's a very difficult thing. I'm sure most of you here in this room are entrepreneurs. Very, very difficult thing, incredibly difficult thing to just start, because often you start without knowing a single thing. You find your way around, right? My favorite thing about Yoko is it feels like it's going to be okay. You make me feel like it's going to be okay. So, wasn't told to say that. It's not on any script. It's just really me. Give these guys a round of applause. This is absolutely fantastic. All right, we're going to keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. We have some more amazing speakers coming up to the stage. I'm going to call Fifi back up to handle this discussion because, as you saw earlier on, she knows a lot about this kind of thing. She's incredibly smart. So please, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Berno, Lisa, and of course, Marie. If you can please come up to the stage.
Great. So I'm going to pick up on what you said about true measure of innovation, that the true measure of innovation is not just about creating something new, but about creating something that has impact. And so let's go back and understand the genesis of the Neo, I wonder how to... the Neo Touch, right? So the genesis. Bernard, we begin with you. So I'm told that this all began many, many months ago, back in 2022. So take us through that thinking within the organization at that time, how you decided that this was the direction that you needed to take.
So we launched a couple of really great card machines the last 3 years. And when we launched the Kumo, we saw that there's a lot of merchants that really just want payments. They want payments, but they want reliable payments. The machine just needs to work. And that's really what set us on this vision, this journey, about creating the best, simplest, most affordable, ultra-reliable card machine in the country. And this is what we've got today. We think it looks great, and we're super happy to launch this tonight.
Sure. Best, simplest, did you say most affordable? Okay. Yeah. But also no drama, right? So I think that is the hashtag that is trending right now about keeping things drama-free. What else makes this device so special?
So it was really designed in-house. We spent 15 months designing and building this with a team of industrial designers and UI designers and engineers. And we think that we really had this South African business owner in mind when we designed this. Mm-hmm. And we're spending a lot of time with customers, understanding their needs, testing this with merchants in their stores, figuring out what's the perfect size of the machine, what merchants need to interact with. So really going to the core, spending a lot of time with merchants. And we also what's great about this machine is it's the first machine in the country that does not have swipe. And that took us a lot of time to get right, because without swipe, you make it a lot more secure and reliable. So we rely on tap on the front and card insert. And also, the other thing is, this is the machine we've certified for the most amount of schemes. You can transact Visa, MasterCard, Apple, Samsung Pay, all the works on this machine. So it's really a great thing for everyone.
A special thing. Okay, question answered. Lisa? Picking up on the point that Bernard was making about the testing that had to go on prior to the actual launch. Take us through that process and the kind of feedback that you got from customers during that process.
Sure. As Bernard said, we wanted to spend a lot of time with our merchants with this actual device. We wanted to get feedback as soon as possible. So as soon as we had a sample, we started with some impression testing. Mm-hmm. So basically that is where we ask a merchant to unbox and think out loud while they're doing it. And the feedback we got from that was basically that they loved the form factor, how the device felt in their hand, and that they thought it was sleek and modern and would add a professional air to their business. Once we actually had a working card machine, we did experience testing, and that's where the rubber hits the road. So we put a working card machine into existing merchants' business, and we keep in close contact with them to find out how the device is actually performing. We take their feedback, and then that leads us to what we actually have now in the Neo Touch.
Sure. And just maybe a little bit more color on the decisions that were taken during that time to finally bring this machine to market.
We could see what really mattered to our merchants. So it was to have fast and reliable payment. And then as well with the fact that the battery life lasts an entire day. And with our launch offer, you'd get the charging stand as well. So then it's one less thing to worry about for a merchant.
Okay, so we're talking about the customer. Let's give the customer a face, a feel, a look, a name, a turnover threshold, as it were. Marie, who is this device actually made for, if you just can tell that to the people in this room?
So if you are essentially the owner of a growing and very, very demanding small business, then this is for you. I know it's been asked whether the Neo Touch will be on sale tonight. We have a special launch offer. That's the one promo moment on stage for you. So you can get 100 Rand off and also obviously get this really nifty free charging stand.
Right.
What we also know about these merchants, and I know there are a lot of them in the room today, is that your business is not a side hustle. It might have been back in the day, it's not anymore. You work in your business every single day, and you're highly reliant on it for an income. It's probably your only income, and the stakes feel very, very high because they truly are.
Sure.
You're dealing with a lot. And I think earlier Lisa spoke to, who we tested with, and we call them our alpha merchants. And they're really the first to use the Neo Touch because they best represent who we believe this device is for. So when we got to know them, we saw a couple of things. The first thing, or that most of them had in common, is that they worked inside of their businesses every single day. They weren't sitting separately from their staff or away from the business. They were inside of it every single day. And they essentially do it all. What a lot of them would tell us is they prefer to do it all. They rarely delegate to others. They really want to be, in what is the guts of the business day to day. We also saw that they worked exceptionally long hours. We saw that they would often start at 6 or 7 when they opened the doors and they got started. They would leave well into the evening when they closed the door behind them.
Sure.
And they also work 5, 6, 7 days a week. So really someone who is extremely busy, who's in there every single day and getting everything done. What also stood out to us, different from some of our, our more, side hustle type merchants, is that they're doing a lot of transactions, so 500, 1,000, 2,000, in some cases even more. And I think, obviously, that depends on the type of business and what they're selling. But if you really think about that, on a day-to-day basis, that's a lot of transactions that have to happen absolutely smoothly, easily, and really fast. It's really the last thing you need to be concerned about, or worry about, or think about. And this is why we're talking about simplicity, why the Neo Touch is so simple, because it's for people who have a lot on their plate, and we really hope that payments with the Neo Touch is the last thing that they should be worried about.
Okay, perfect. Bono, the founders at the top just set the scene for us in terms of their ultimate vision to create a financial ecosystem for business owners, a one-stop shop, as it were, where you can get everything that you need. So how does this take you towards that vision?
Yeah, so you need the Yoko app to sign up, and when to use the Nano Touch, you don't need to pair it to the Yoko app, but we think the Yoko app is a great companion tool for business owners. So on the Yoko app, as Lungisa mentioned, you can get access to instant payments. You can also get access to our online products like sending a payment link or sending an invoice, and that's completely free. So we really think that the companion app and the Nano Touch together is a great device for the business owner. We highly recommend it. And that kind of brings it all together, where we want to be the solution for small business owners. Everything they need, you need to come to Yoko for.
Okay, perfect. So wrapping it up, I'm told that we are in for an exclusive viewing of something that will only be shown to the rest of the public sometime next week. But by virtue of you giving us your precious time, you'll be privy to that viewing, I believe, Marie, a little shortly. Tell us a little bit more.
So we're revealing essentially our TV ad tonight, which is, the core to the campaign. And just a bit of background where it came from. So we mentioned our customers earlier, how we're deeply, understanding them or want to and have that intimacy with them. And like with all our campaigns, we're truly inspired by their experience on the ground every single day. And for this campaign, we were specifically inspired at this very moment in South Africa, which I think is like a bizarre and extremely unique, context to operate in. I'm going to play or ask the team at the back to just play a quick video.
South Africa is a movie. Every day in the shop by something new. We have even forgotten what shop has things ago. Every day.
So true. So true.
And it's funny because it's true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tragic, but it's also hilarious. And I think it's something that everyone, there we go, that everyone in this room can attest to, whether you have double mic, all right. Let's see. I think if I sit like this, it's better. But South Africa really is, like this gentleman was saying, it's a movie. It's this drama series where absolutely anything can happen, and it probably will. Like what you think is not going to happen, it might. Mm-hmm. So if
like a tiger walking around,
exactly.
just randomly.
Exactly. But if you think of load shedding, bad networks, red tape, when you have a business, things you need to deal with just to, operate. Floods, we've seen riots, earthquakes were mentioned. And I think small business owners, they're dealing with it all. And they truly, from our perspective, they're the stars of the show. And we want this Neo touch, we're talking about how simple it is, and we want that to be, a break or a respite from the drama. Something that just goes according to plan. And we hope that with something like this, with the Neo touch, that payments is the last drama, like the last thing they need to even think about. We're hoping that, to be honest, that it's so drama-free that it's uneventful.
Sure.
And, so drama-free and uneventful that it's even a little bit boring, and that payment moment just, dare we say it, be a bit meh and boring. So
Sure.
that really is what inspired our campaign, just being this respite from what they deal with every single day.
Sure. I think it goes without saying that we're all looking forward to seeing the full ad, and I think the team would certainly welcome your feedback on that and how it's had you in stitches even more so than it has done right now. But guys, thanks so much. We're going to wrap it up. But it's always great to see the people who are behind the product that you're looking at in front of you today. And we look forward to the next for Yoko. Thank you. Donovan?
All right. Thank you very much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that hashtag is hashtag Yoco Next. And I mentioned earlier on that we had a word cloud that was starting to build, and I think we want to get that up on the screen right now. We were kind of rushing through it, getting a lot of great nuggets here from everybody that has come up on stage. But these are some of the things that you have answered and commented on: adaptation to change, thriving, learning, going forward. Yizo. There's always one. Persistence, the future, stability, stepping up, direction, sustainability, thriving ahead, unhinged, comfortable, simple, purposeful. I think that really sums up everything that everybody has spoken about here today. Very, very cool. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And, with all of these in mind, I want to bring somebody up onto the stage right now and just have a very, very quick conversation with them because I'm super interested, to hear what this business is about, how this business came about, and I'm sure you will be too. So please, ladies and gentlemen, with a massive round of applause, welcome to the stage right now, Tumelo from Afro Boutique. Get up on the stage, Tumelo.
After a hair appointment didn't go so well, and I was going to do better than that terrible hair appointment that I had. I have an Afro hair salon that specializes in natural hair. That's called Dumela MG's Afro Boutique. I started my business when I was 14 years old. And the Afro Boutique is actually my 7 or 8 hair salon. With the very first salon that I had, I acknowledged that this was not going to work. Then I said garage. And then I went to a garage and I said, it's not working. Rent a chair, still not working. Get your own shop, now it's working. This is the passion that I have for hair. This is the beauty that I'm trying to spread with Afro hair. I want our clients to feel that they're enough, and it's all about takeaways. You are enough, and you are beautiful, and you are valued, and you are valuable.
Yes. Chomam, before we even begin, do you see a potential alignment this evening with that gentleman there with the good hair? Kalogo, you are always looking at stock. You know what I'm saying? And that's...
Honestly, on a natural hair level, absolutely not.
Ah!
But for him, for his natural hair, absolutely. We believe in embracing how you look, enhancing your natural hair, and bringing out the best in it and enjoying it on an everyday life, and not actually looking at somebody else thinking, oh, that race has better hair.
Yes.
We're all beautiful. We're all made in God's
man.
image.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's, thank you. Yes, that was an exceptional answer. I want to go all the way to the beginning. I know that you may have mentioned a couple of things in the video, which was great, by the way, but tell us who you are, tell us what this business is about, and tell us why. Why would you start this business?
My name is Dumelo Mpolo. I'm from the East Rand, a small town in Vilaliza in Boksburg. You can hardly see it.
There's no woolies there, no?
There's no woolies. There's no woolies, but there's beautiful wildlife, and I feel like that was one of the places that allowed all these ideas to flow so freely in my head.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
That's nice. No distractions.
No distractions, but also an environment that allowed me to find myself as I am, But it also challenged me as well, because as a child, I grew up in a community where Afro hair was not a hairstyle that you could wear as an African woman, But also for me, as well as a young girl, I'm a second generation beauty therapist, and my mom was always training me to say, don't rush into doing makeup. Get to understand yourself, get to know yourself, And I was actually more passionate with natural hair. And being in the schools that we were in, that were always driving us away from what we look like. And I remember feeling frustrated, feeling like, okay, I love how I look, the way I've been raised as a second generation beauty therapist, But I also find that I don't know what products to use for my hair. Now that I've decided to grow it, I've decided to see it, I've decided that I like this. How do I improve my aesthetics, and the experience of Afro hair? And I remember deciding to do the research on my own, because I was a science major, whatever, those boffin kids in school. Yeah, but education didn't answer the questions of who am I?
Yes.
And I found that I had to seek it out for myself. And I used all the accolades that I already gathered, at a primary school level, because I also lost interest in school at a very early age, because I was like, this does not support, it doesn't respond to my economic challenges. So I started the business because of what I wanted to look like. I wanted to be beautiful, and I also needed to provide for myself, to say, what am I going to live on, And I remember when I decided that I'm not just going to do it at a small scale, which was from house calls, because that's how humble my beginnings were, and that I was going to grow it into a business, which was because my business was growing. It was the demand for the attention to detail of the cornrows that I was doing was growing. I found that there were so many women, African women, who were looking for themselves, and they were finding themselves in what I was providing. And that's when I decided that this is not about me anymore. This is a social responsibility. And then when I decided to turn it into a business, where now I started educating and training other hairstylists, I said, this is still not about you anymore. It's about how many lives can you touch? How much healthy hair can you move around? How can I change the conversation from what Katla was saying to, no, don't do this, don't do that, to actually, this is what works. Actually, this is what I'm excited about. I'm excited about my next hairstyle. I'm excited about my next appointment. Because I also had to be honest about the salon experience, that we also needed to change how the salon experience was for African women, So I took it from the really tiny detail into the most, the biggest detail, to say, if you're going for a meeting, how would you feel after your service? Would you feel ready for your board meeting?
Oh, I love that. Wait, just before you move on from this topic, because this is very interesting to me. How old are you when you are making these decisions and thinking like this? Because it feels like you found your purpose at a very young age.
Yeah.
That's very difficult. I'm still looking.
So I was 3 years old when I decided to be a hairstylist and that I was going to have a hair salon.
What?
Yeah. I was 3 years old. I was 3 years old. My mom and I had gone for a girls' trip. I wanted to go with my dad because my dad is exciting, but my mom insisted because she was that parent who always wanted to pour into her kids. She's like, we're going on a girls' trip, we're going to a hair salon, and I love my hair, My grandfather loved my hair. And the hair appointment was terrible. I was scared. The salon had these weird walls, and it was blankets on the walls, and the chairs were uncomfortable. It was so greasy and grimy, And I was just like, oh, I was cringing. But it's because my mom used to do my hair at the time, so I was used to this friendly experience. The guy was not connecting with me, he wasn't talking to me. But also I think I was like those kind of kids, you know.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the appointment, I remember my mom was like, Dumi, your hair used to be longer than this. You know, this man actually burnt your hair. And I was so upset. I was so upset. I was like, I shouldn't have come here. I shouldn't have come here. Whenever I have my hair done, my dad gets people to take pictures of me, and I have to pose and sit like this. So that's the day I saw. I said, when I grow up, I'm going to have a hair salon. I'm going to make sure that my clients feel comfortable. I'm going to research the product. I'm going to understand what it is people are looking for. And I want them to walk away with a smile, you know, and a lasting smile, not just now you have this beautiful pin up. 1 minute you had a nice, these tongs, these combs that they used to use in old salons where they like literally fry your hair and you look great for only one day. Only one day. Tomorrow, if you didn't sleep like a mannequin, the hairstyle is gone. The hairstyle is gone, but even worse, your hair is breaking.
Yes.
Your hair is shedding.
Yes.
But then there was the challenge for me as a hairstylist when I would try to do those hairstyles, that tongs burn us. I've got a scar here from a burnt...
A battle scar.
A battle scar.
It's a tattoo now, essentially.
Yeah, you know, and I just felt like, how do we change the experience for the hairstylist? You know, how do we change the experience for our customers as well? But also for women who are taking care of children, you know, women who are also trying to look pretty for their husbands, trying to look professional for work, you know, doing a pin-up today, a pin curl today, and trying to show up with that pin curl tomorrow is not practical. You will have to wake up at 5 a.m., you have to go to the salon at 5 a.m., the salon is not open. So literally whatever you invested in today, by the following day, it's gone. But not only is it gone, but also it's recessive. So now you are at a loss, your hair is breaking, you have to go to a salon that knows how to treat your hair, they don't do treatments, they're not focusing on health care of your hair, you've got hair that's shedding, and then about 3 appointments later, you would find that these women have to cut their hair, you know. And we would also find that even at a treatments level, because I started off treating relaxers first, and I realized their scalps are burning. The hair is becoming yellowish. It's just an unpleasant color. We're constantly having to trim the hair. But also, like, I think that women, we are a type of gender that when we're nurturing, we want to see, is it growing? You know? So I'm doing the treatments that you're advising me to do as a hairstylist that's decided to take your own path into treatments, but my hair is not growing. Why am I doing these treatments? My hair doesn't have body. Why am I doing these treatments? The products you're giving me, they're flat. They're making me look like a second version of E.T. or something, you know. I'm not becoming beautiful. I just have 1 or 2 days to be beautiful, but I have an entire month that needs me to be that way.
Wow. You know what I find very interesting is I feel like your science major played a big role in these decisions.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who's very interested in science, you break things down and you want to figure out the answers. Like, why isn't this working the way it's supposed to work? I need to find the solution to make this thing work, which is absolutely incredible because you never really put the two together. You know, it's fantastic. But now I'm going to jump ahead because we are running out of time here just a little bit. So one question before I guess close with the final question. At what point do you get, I guess, confident in yourself to become an entrepreneur and, you know, you are in a space, you know, there's bricks and mortar, there are people that need to be paid, you know, there are books that need to be balanced at the end of every month, because that's a whole different ball game on its own, right? How do you go, okay, cool, let's move on to this other juggernaut of a thing now, and let's make this thing serious and make it official.
So to your point of being analytical, you know, I analyze people as well. So I also looked at successful business owners in my environment, in my area, all the way up to Woolies. And I said, there's no way this person started there. So I have to start somewhere. And I also said that confidence is unattainable. But what is attainable is intention. What is attainable is aggression. which I still apply to this day. There's challenges even at a place where you feel that at a business level, you have arrived, that we now have X amount of clients who are coming in to treat their hair, they're coming in to do protective styles. We have a model that actually works. And you can actually feel at some point, no, I've arrived, Honestly, you never arrive, and that's the reason why you should just start, because it's always going to feel like you're starting.
Yep. You're incredibly smart, and it's quite intimidating. Because every single question I throw at you, you answer it with such grace, and you're like, wow. I'm so blown away by you.
Thank you.
Speak to me about Neo Touch.
Yeah.
How has this product helped your business?
Yeah.
Number one, and why Yoko?
I remember in my first interview, I said for me, Yoko is like a brother from afar. My brother actually has been extremely supportive in my business growth. They like to say behind every successful man is a strong woman.
Yeah.
But also behind every successful woman, a very strong, confident men who want to see you grow. And those are my anchors.
Yeah.
Yoko it was introduced to me by my brother, who saw that I service our business services professionals, our business services women who are always on the run. And he also saw that my business was growing rapidly. And I was being that girl, I was putting money in my boobs. Because I'm like, you know what, that lady in the corner who sells coppers, she's feeding and growing her family with that money. And she just does that, No one's going to go for it there. But my brother was like, it's not safe. It's not safe, you're growing, you need to formalize, So my brother actually is the person who introduced me to Yoko.
Yeah.
Yoko has, firstly, I'd say as a woman, given me the safety. I don't have to do that anymore. Comfort, freedom. It's also allowed my clients to feel more confident in our business.
Yeah.
It's also grown customer loyalty. If there's anything, whenever customers invest in you as a business and decide to choose you over the other businesses that they could have gone to, it's because they invested in your growth. And they've been seeing our growth. They've been seeing how that's improved their lives with an easy tap. And I could have gone for other pay points, but I saw that they were having network issues. The one thing our business is, it's a very fast-paced business. We'll be servicing about 5 to 6 clients at the same time, So when we're busy with them, we don't want a machine that we're busy tapping on for signal. Yoko's machines always have signal. Yoko's machines battery life from the very first Yoko machine to the Neo Touch, it still continues to be convenient. I can see my transactions. I can see what's our bestseller. And I also said to myself last night to say, it's actually helped to even motivate me as a brother from afar, because my brothers do that for me. Dimi,
Yes.
you're doing well, When I see those sales, and I'm like, okay, we're doing better. Okay, we're doing better, And I'm like, okay, let me keep moving. But also I'm able to pass it on to my team, So it's been convenient for us. It's also allowed us to scale at a rate that I never thought we would have grown at. At a rate where we were looking for finance and saying, who's going to finance small businesses, But for me, I also say that it's a practical form of financing, because I also feel that everyone has ideas.
Yes.
But not all those ideas need to be financed. Is it viable? Can you stand for it? Show us that your idea works, And when I saw Yoko actually offering us a capital, a capital loan, right?
Yes.
Yoko Capital. I was like, oh my God, they are watching our transactions and it matters to them. But also, we are finding financial aid without having to knock on anyone's door. And they understand economic growth, and they understand that I actually don't have the time to do that. I'm a sole proprietor. I don't have time to leave my clients and go and look for financing, So it also bridged a lot of the frustrations that I was having, and that we were having as well, as a business that also hires a women only, and that services women only, So it's given us a beautiful safety net. Yeah, so thank you. An amazing product.
What do I say, man? What do I say? What do any one of us say? You know what? You are going to be so successful. You are on the road to that legacy. This attitude and this foresight, you are playing the long game. You're doing it right. You're doing it by the book. It's not about instant gratification. It's just about doing it right and making sure people are happy. You're passing a baton on to every single person that comes into your space. I can guarantee you right now, I think you've passed that baton on to most of us here to go, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
I am so happy for you and I am so proud of you. Tumelo, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for your story.
Thank you, Donovan. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sure. Oh, you must be prepared because I think you're going to be taking a lot of pictures later with a lot of people because, oh man, nuggets. A book. There's a book waiting to be written there. I'll tell you that right now. Royalties, get your mum. I just planted that seed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we did mention that ad earlier on, so without further ado, please turn your focus to the screens right now and have a look at this ad.
If you're a business owner who just wants to get paid, then this is for you. If you're a business owner who just wants to get paid without the drama of putting your hands in the air like you just don't care, then this is for you. If you're a business owner who just wants to get paid without the drama of putting your hands in the air like you just don't care and want to keep the sales on even when the power goes off, then this is for you. If you're a business owner who just wants to get paid without the drama of putting your hands in the air like you just don't care and want to keep the sales on even when the power goes off and would rather have accepting payments be the most boring part of your day, then this is for you. The new Neo Touch. Payments so simple, they're kind of boring.
Awesome. I love it. Once again, knocked it out the park. Fun, engaging, memorable. It's all there. Never, ever, ever miss. I love it so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's session. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody that came up on the stage, to all the panelists, and of course, thank you very much here to Fifi for holding it down so hard. Give Fifi a massive round of applause. Too smart. Once again, I think that competition is still running. Please remember, if you haven't posted yet, many opportunities to post. 5,000 Rand could be up for grabs, a card machine, and of course that Yoco Next merch. Tumelo mentioned that you could potentially be getting a treatment at her. So am I stepping over the line here? Not, is that, you don't want to do it here for somebody? No? Okay. Not. I thought, I would take it. It's that royalty thing. You see how I'm sneaking myself into your business here. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been absolutely fantastic. We are not officially done. You don't have to go anywhere just yet. Please interact, with some of the merchants that are going to be here today. And of course, we've got Mom Thug, who's going to be on the decks right now. You're absolutely going to love it. It's been really great being with you. Is this going to be the dance floor? As I see, they're clearing here behind me. So yes, this is a great opportunity for you to network as much as possible, share, and hopefully this tender extends and I will see you guys next year. My name's Donovan Goliath. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard.